pay attention to feeling. Now, every point that I make in this video is going to stack upon one another. The first point is remain in the sensory experience of feeling and use this to connect to others. Feel into the flow and energy exchange of the conversation. So when we're interacting with someone, you can actually feel an energy exchange happening between you and them. And really how this gets created is by being open to the present moment and having a steady and relaxed focus on the person that you are talking to. So if you're both open and you're both focused on each other, naturally there's an exchange of energy that begins to happen between you two. And it's important to detect this simply by feeling. And this is a skill. Everything that I'm mentioning in this video is a skill. Your ability to even pick this up is something that has to be developed. Your ability to relax in the actual sensory experience of feeling is a skill. So when you're interacting with someone, you have to begin to detect that there's a rhythm to the conversation. There's a flow to it. There's a purely emotional / like energetic component to it that is very important to the conversation. It's very important to the communication. The vast majority of communication is not just like the logic that we say, like the actual words that we're saying, but the whole way that we're going about saying it and the like emotional component of it. By remaining in the sensory experience of feeling, the actual just sense of feeling, you will actually be able to sense into the situation and pick up information that you wouldn't really be able to do otherwise. You'll be able to sense how the other person is feeling, sense whether they're open to talking to you or they're closed, or if they're somewhere in the middle, or if they're kind of pulling back, going back and forth a little bit, and really paying attention to feeling. This is not like a hippy-dippy thing. This is very real, and you just need to cultivate an ability to really detect what it is that I'm talking about here. Moving on, we have remain conscious and aware of your reactions, thoughts, impulses, and sensations. Notice how you have certain impulses that do not fit into the present context. Create a balance between self-contact and connection. Use this awareness to harmonize with the situation you are in. So actually remain aware of the actual sensations in your body. They're actually giving you information. Your feelings really are giving you information about the overall situation that you're in, and you want to learn to actually pay attention to them and really listen to them. When you have, let's say, an impulse, you actually want to pay attention to how this is really overall making you feel, as well as whether or not it's going to fit into the present situation that you're in. And this isn't like an abstract logical thing that you're doing, like some over-analysis. This is happening based off pure feeling. This is happening based off pure emotional intelligence, by pure awareness, pure self-awareness, and basically an ability to remain in contact with your emotions and your body and its sensations. So notice that you have certain impulses and basically certain things overall that you want to do that might not fit into the situation as well. And you can actually begin to discern between what does and what doesn't fit into the social context by simply paying attention to feeling. Because, like I said, when you pay attention to feeling, you are actually going to be able to probe, just sense into the situation that you are actually in, and determine what actually goes well with it and what doesn't. Literally just based off this one skill. It's a skill. You need to actively do it. You have to cultivate it. If you don't, you're not going to have it. Another point is create a balance between self-contact and connection. What this means, self-contact, is connecting to your own feelings and what's going on inside of you, while also connecting to the feelings and stuff that's happening within other people, and really taking all of this into account. And like I said, this isn't like an abstract mental over-analysis kind of thing. This is happening at the level of just awareness, feeling, and sensory experience. So that's why it's a bit hard to maybe get like intellectually, but it's actually quite simple once you're really connected in this kind of way. And this is a massive aspect of emotional intelligence that I'm actually like pointing to in this video. So literally just paying attention to how you feel in certain situations and being able to sense outwardly into the situation that you're in. And by literally doing this, just by doing this, you're going to slowly begin to harmonize with the overall context that you're in. So when you're talking to someone, for example, paying attention how you feel, giving them a relaxed, steady focus that is like unbreaking, you're not getting distracted and pulled away by other things, and just paying attention to the overall vibe, the overall feeling of the situation, and noticing that when you guys are both have that steady, relaxed focus, there begins to have this sort of natural energetic exchange that just spontaneously occurs. Just spontaneously happens when Two people are just interacting in an open way and giving each other their attention. And it's completely detectable through feeling. You just got to work on that ability to pick it up. The next one is let go of needing something to say. Embrace the spontaneity of the conversation. And this one's very funny because, for example, when, let's say, you like approach a girl, you cold approach a girl, a lot of guys think like, oh, like the pickup lines. I need the pickup lines. You know, what would I say? It actually doesn't really matter what you say. What really matters is, are you fitting into the overall context? So you want to let go of having the perfect thing to say when you're talking to anyone whatsoever, letting go of that entire paradigm, and instead being able to flow naturally with the overall situation and embracing the pure spontaneity of conversation and socializing. This is really about making yourself more fluid, dynamic, and flexible, and paying attention to feeling. I'm going to repeat that. Pay attention to feeling. Remain in the sensory experience of feeling. And when you do that, you'll notice that reality and really all these reality like is just a very fluid thing. Everything is constantly changing. The people you're with, sensations in your body, the atoms that everything is made out of, this is all fluid, changing, dynamic. It doesn't stop. It never holds still for 1 second. And by remaining in the sensory experience of feeling, you can actually detect that everything is actually quite fluid and flowing. By bringing awareness into your hand, you can feel a bunch of sensations that are constantly changing. By bringing awareness into the conversation that you're having, you can feel that there's a sort of rhythm to it, a flow that is constantly changing, and you want to get into contact with it and ride it. You want to basically remain aware of it, focused on it, and invest your attention into it, and in a relaxed, subtle, non-forceful way. And really you detect it by paying attention to feeling. Who'd have thought, right? The next one is be open to the interaction. Notice if you are closed, distracted, or trying to get away from it. And once again, you can tell by paying attention to how you're feeling. This is a massive thing to pay attention to, is literally just the actual way that your body's feeling. It's just so simple. Like, the actual advice I'm saying in this video is completely dependent upon like you practicing it. Like, your ability to get it is dependent upon you just practicing it. So being open to the interaction involves having, let's say, a loose, not tense, open body, steady, relaxed focus, and just a commitment to being there in the present moment with that person. And notice when you are getting distracted. Notice when something pulls away at your attention. Notice whenever your attention goes off the person that you're interacting with, because the second your attention goes off that person, the actual connection that you have starts to break. You actually need to invest your time, attention, and energy into the connections that you have with people in order to sustain them. So let's say you're just having a regular conversation with them. In order to sustain the conversation, you need to input your attention and energy into that conversation, and it builds over time, and then the connection gets deeper and deeper and deeper. And simply by paying attention to feeling, you can actually feel the connection with that person getting deeper and deeper and deeper. Moving on is, of course, have a relaxed and steady focus. Do not become scattered and split your focus. I just talked about this. So when you're talking to someone, actually notice when something takes away your attention, it's now off the person that you're talking to. And that begins to break the connection. Like, if I start to focus on something over there, the eye contact breaks and we don't feel as connected. You don't really feel like I'm talking to you. The actual sense of connectedness begins to shatter. So you want to make sure that your focus is steady and relaxed. You're not forcing yourself upon the flow of conversation. You're just kind of gently riding it. Just like if you were, let's say, floating down like a lazy river on, like, I don't know if you guys have ever been in like a lazy river. It's just literally a river that you gently float down. That's kind of how conversations are as well. You just want to pay attention to the rhythm of it. I can't emphasize the importance of getting that there's a rhythm, a flow, it's dynamic, it's flexible, it's constantly changing. You have to pick up on that and be able to connect to it, and it's very spontaneous, really. You just have to practice it and cultivate your awareness of what I'm talking about in this video. The next one is really how to cultivate this. Basically, a massive aspect is going outside, talking to people, and paying attention to feeling. And another good one is practice meditation. I have a free guided meditation. It's the first link in the description. You can check that out. It'll help you out. And really, by practicing meditation, you're going to get into your body, you're going to get into your sensory experience, you're going to be able to pay attention to feeling, and you're going to cultivate a deeper focus. All of this stuff transfers on to social skills, which I would highly recommend actually doing in order to create more meaningful connections and really overall being more skilled in this area of life. That's it for this video. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. But other than that, take it easy.